Hey everyone, today a short video about the trade from June 12th and what can we see, what did we get on that day. We broke through our range here, and here very important, what we can also see is that we engineered liquidity before the zone this low here, and that's why in this case the IRD is especially important. That's why we also expect on that day that we'll tap into the IRD or the midline here and then expand upwards. That's why we're waiting here for the open. That's what we got here. We still haven't had the test of the zone, but now we've gotten it. And here we're simply waiting for the CST. If we close above here, we go long. If we continue to go down, we'll see what happens at the midline, so to speak. Here we then got the CST. We can see that we were still set in the SMT here. We then closed above here, and that's why we're now placing the limit here. We can set the stop either below the SMA here or below the lowest low. And then we can see here that we have two stacked highs here. Those are our targets. Then you can see that in terms of risk-reward ratio, we would get a 1-to-5 here. But what I can recommend to you is that, for example, you always take partials or even close the entire trade at the first breaker. You even have a 1-to-4 here because strong impulses often come back at this point, and you don't want to be stuck in such a trade, even if it does hit your take profit. For example, during the PM session, if it takes a bit longer, you can see the trade worked out beautifully here. We hit the breaker here, and then you can see that we already got some stronger pullbacks, and later on we also reached the biggest target. And what do you notice? If we remove all these things, you can see that this is truly an extremely beautiful market maker model. We took out liquidity here. We tapped into the point of interest, got a CST, and up here we really have an accumulation and two stacked highs, then the manipulation, and then on the right side the distribution. And what makes this trade even more likely? If we look at this now on the higher time frame, we see exactly the same thing here. We took out liquidity here. Now we have all the highs here that are still open, and on a larger scale we also have the bigger buy model. So we have a buy model within a big buy model, and that makes this whole trade even better. In the next videos, I can also analyze your trades if you like, take a look at what's good and what's bad. We can also overlap that with our ranges, so you can see that you could have saved yourself a stop loss because the trade was valid, and that way we can simply learn and grow together. And I'd say we'll just catch up in the next video. Feel free to ask your questions in the comments. See you in the next video. Bye bye.